All right, I think this is on. What's up? Good morning. I've got my coffee here, and if you are here live already, will you let me know if you can see me and hear me and all of the things so I am good to go. I'm sorry that I'm a little tired. It's because I got sucked into a book last night and then I couldn't turn it off. So it's kind of like people, gamers who like finish a game and then look up and realize that the sun is coming up. They're like, "Whoops!" Well, that sort of happened to me. But no matter, I have work to do, and so here I am, and I'm dithering while I wait for people to let me know if we're good. Um, Anyone else got audio? So the audio should be working, and I'm worried now. Does the audio work? Can you hear me? Testing. Anybody? Sound? Yes, no, maybe. I'm gonna sit here and dither until somebody in the chat can tell me if it's working. Is it working? Anybody? Okay. So apparently if Margaret, I don't know, dear, if you can't hear what's going on, but all right. I wrote down a whole bunch of things though to make sure that I actually had stuff to talk about today. Because oh my goodness, is it like the tech day? Right. Let's go to the chat. Oh, hey, good morning. I've got Keith. What is going on? If Keith is back from getting takeaway, and Sabina has got lots of questions, and Derek is here. What's going on? And then Alexander. Thanks everyone for jumping in and bearing with me while I guess get woken up and get moving on the day. Sabina says she's got tons of questions, which is awesome. I say let's hit it. She says, okay, links when they should be no follow. And what does that mean? So, first thing is that links, when you put them on your site, you don't necessarily think about it one way or another, but the bots, right? All of the Google bot, the all of the bots, they have the ability to go and crawl those links, and you can put information on those links that say, "Don't crawl this. Don't like use this to jump to the next link." It's a no follow link. Um, the reason that you would have follow versus no follow is that when it's a follow link, the juice goes along with it, right? So you say, okay, the authority from this site posting this link also gets trickled a bit to the site that it goes to. And that's how like this pyramid of links is created. So if you say the link should be no follow, it also means that the juice that is supposed to go with the link doesn't pass either. So theoretically, if somebody was like doing guest posting or creating links or doing things in like a non-natural way, you would no follow because the juice shouldn't be passed, right? The juice should only be passed when it's natural, when it's something that is supposed to be there that wasn't created in violation of Google's terms of service. Now, we know that happens all the time, and frankly, natural links don't always pop up. Like that doesn't always happen very often, and so there's a ton of stuff coming out from Google right now about no following links or marking them with the rel sponsored. The nice thing is that when you want to do this, like to mark something as no follow, it's fairly easy to do now. Most I don't want to say all themes have it, but a lot of themes have the option when you're putting in the link to mark it as no follow. So I hope that answers your question. Derek says that he's genuinely surprised that his brand new site, the 3 weeks old, has all of the articles indexed and is starting to get clicks. Anyone else seeing this? Well, I am not personally seeing this, and so that must mean it's not happening to anybody else. No, I think it's I've heard from somebody else who's got a new site that was started in the last month that they're having a similar experience, whereas I'm having the opposite. For me, I suspect that my site is not getting much traffic, not because of indexing issues, but because it's more of a competitive niche. I don't know. I would love to hear from anybody else what is going on with them and for them. Sabina says, should all internal links open up in a new tab? Is there a place I can set that on default? I think that depends on your theme, honestly, dear. I don't worry about it too much, but some people would prefer that all links open in a new tab because one, I think it leaves the session that is your site is open, right? With the hope that Google Analytics would track that as a longer session because somebody hasn't clicked away because the new tab is opened up. So now they're on another page reading. I think that that's one of the reasons why sometimes the sessions are really long. Like, gosh, that's no reason why anybody should be looking at this page for a bajillion years because somebody has clicked the link and has gone off elsewhere. Some people like to have the new page open up in another tab because then it increases the possibility that you would return to the other site because it's still there. You're clicking and close. You're like, oh, that's something else I'd want to do. I personally don't care. I really don't care all that much, but people in the chat, you're welcome to sound off about why you would do things one way or another. Key says, Sabina loved the videos. Yep, Sabina's our new YouTube celebrity lately. What's going on? There's Sarah. What's going on? I was just actually in the MIGA group checking out who joined the group for the week. The month, a lot of familiar faces there. I'm also noticing that I haven't updated at all for the last couple days. I got to get on that. It also looks like Jasper is headed out on vacation. Good for him. But it is cool to see familiar faces and new faces. And if Donna Kay catches this on the replay, congrats on getting hit on one of your keywords and seeing some big traffic. Those are like those are the best days. They're really awesome. Oh, and folks, if you are here, please smash the thumbs up button. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy in my heart. I'm pretty much that's all it does. I don't worry about what it does for the Google. And if you're here on the replay, please let me know that you were here. Hey, Adrian, thanks for dropping in. It's nice to just see people check in and let me know how things are going. There's Supriya. Thanks for doing the MIGA group again for the month. It's fun to hear you and just hear how things are going. Sabina wants to know what about affiliate links? Are we supposed to mark them or just a disclaimer at the beginning? That is a great question. And it's probably the question of great importance given what's going on with Google right now. I personally, whenever I have an affiliate link somewhere in the middle of the body, I will just put like a quick note in bold underneath it. So this is an affiliate link. It goes to Amazon, or just like the one sentence Amazon statement. The reason I do this right after the link, if it's just one random one, like it's not a big listicle, is because Google jumps us now like beyond the top where the disclosure is at the top. And then also, if you're on mobile, like if you have it in the sidebar, it squishes it at the bottom. So that way, if it's right by it, nobody can say that you were hiding the affiliate link but again, I don't know that they're policing it to that degree. I think it needs to be on the page somewhere. As far as marking the links, I think Google says that we're supposed to mark them. I'm not doing it yet because I can't be bothered, but I might change my tune in the near future. I didn't see that the spam update that came out just recently has had any impact at all on any of my traffic or my sites, and I'm not necessarily worried at this point that it will. Keith says a free plugin like Rank Math will let you open all external links in a new tab and blanket no follow if you wish. He says he recommends leaving links to sources within posts as do follow. Um, Sabina says, do I need to go back to all my old posts and go through links and change all the settings? I'm understanding that I should mark all external links as no follow. Thanks, y'all. I don't think that you have to mark all external links as no follow or do follow. I think it just depends on whether you think that you would want to be associated with that site. Like, do you think that it makes sense for your site to pass juice onto that other site? Does it seem natural for it to do so? And if it doesn't, then that's a good time to mark it as no follow. But in most cases, I don't see any harm. I really don't see any harm to do that. You say, okay, well, maybe the one place you wouldn't want to do it is if you were linking to a site that is a competitor, that maybe you wouldn't want to set up a situation where somebody that, first of all, I don't know that you would want to be linking to someone who was like competing with you for like the top spot on an article. But if you were to, for some reason, link to their domain, that's a good reason to mark it as no follow. Adrian says he will watch the replay, prepping for a new vacation in Iceland. Oh my goodness. The jealousy. The jealousy. I do think it is a good idea, Sabina, to go back and then just, make sure that all of your links on all of your old posts are squared away because then you won't have to worry about it ever again. Uh, Margaret says, don't mark Amazon affiliate links as sponsored. They don't like it. And it's not true anyway, because it implies a relationship that doesn't exist unless you are actually in a sponsorship relationship with Amazon. I just use their blanket statement that they say is good enough. And then I just do that. Like whatever Amazon says, I just do it. Keith says that rank math should allow you to go back and take care of. So just blanket, like mark as follow or no follow all external links if you want to use that. There's Donna K. Yep, the traffic spike has me excited for the rest of the month. I'm excited for you. I don't know what it is about those little like wins that just are so motivating, but they just do so much to keep you coming back to the computer the next day. Just like that little shot of dopamine that says, yes. There's Mohammed. What's going on? She says she'll be rewatching for sure. I hope that there will be information in there that is useful. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was a couple of the questions I got after the release of my month 7 MIGA report update. And if you haven't seen that, if you're hearing about it for the first time, it's over on the main channel. But the exciting thing was that the site crossed 25,000 page views a month. So that's month 7. So not like, blow the doors off, but not terrible either. I feel pretty good about it. I'm excited about the trajectory and the progress. But one of the things that happened recently, because I recently got SERPRobot to pay closer attention to my keywords, is that I have a competitor. I think somebody has found the site, and not necessarily from this group. I think it's somebody who's in the niche who recently started a site in the last 12 months in sort of a similar niche, who I think either discovered my site with Ahrefs or were just cruising along. And the reason I think that they found my site is because in their sitemap in the last 10 or 15 articles, every one of the keywords that were chosen was one of my keywords. And some of them are so kind of random that it's hard for me to imagine that maybe one or two of them would be coincidental, but all of them are keywords that I had chosen. It seems likely that someone found my site and then is doing what a lot of us do, which is find sites with a really low domain authority and then just try to compete with them. I mean, it's a good strategy, right? So the way I discovered this was I was looking at some keywords that were, you go in SERPRobot and it shows you when a keyword is, 1, and then it drops to 2, and then you just go and look and see who your competitor is. And so I saw on several of these posts that there was the same site. And so then I went and clicked over and found them, and I was like, somebody has found me and I have no domain authority. So, I'm pretty easy to keep up with, right? But rather than getting upset about it or grumpy about it, or going and like trying to copy their keywords, I'm doing two things. One is creating more internal links for those posts. And then two, I'm not going to do anything else truly, because I feel like if that site has a domain authority that is weak like mine, that there's no telling that a couple of links, if I were to continue to work really hard, wouldn't take care of it in the near future. And so I'm okay sitting in the number 2 spot against a site that has a really low domain authority, that that person is working hard, but not as hard as me. Like I have 3 times more content as them, and I'm going a lot harder than them. So I think I'll be able to get it back. And it's just kind of surprising, but also, I guess, cool that I sorted that out. Like I saw it, but also like, "Ugh, okay, maybe I need to start." But I don't want to like what does Chris Nitz probably Chris says is like building the moat around my castle here. It's like I'm building the castle up, but I got to also defend it. And I don't like link building. Not good at it. I'm not excited about it. But you can see right there, like just a slight increase in my domain authority, however you measure it, would make this interloper, would make them a non-entity, a non-threat. And I wouldn't look like easy pickings, but right now I look like easy pickings. So I've got to do something about that. Hey, there's Steven. Hey, what's going on? He says, my update was awesome. Well, thank you. I thought so too. And I had several people comment or message me about why I was using my phone. And I have to admit, I'm a little sensitive. Not too long ago, in a chat somewhere, somebody who was not trying to offend me or insult me, but they made this like offshoot comment like, I don't trust YouTubers, I don't trust income reports. And it bothered me because, this assumption that just because we're on YouTube that we would be faking things because that would be not cool, right? A lot of people who are just getting started are basically relying upon these income reports to believe, right? They see other people doing it and they say, okay, I think I can do it because these other people are doing it. And that bugs me because then they're jumping in both feet, relying upon something that other people don't think exists. And so that's, I mean, I don't think that it looks as smooth to hold up my phone and like my hands are going like this. I just want people to understand that it's real and that I'm not making it up, especially on the in the months where the numbers really jump, because there are people coming behind me who are just inspired is the wrong word, but they are saying, okay, I see this happening and I think I can do it too. And I just think it's really important that they know I'm not making it up because it's a big risk for everybody. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this. I won't always do it, but I wanted to do it at least once. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's way easier to do this than it is to like take a screenshot and then like edit it down and like go import it and then like set it where it's supposed to be. It's like this. I don't know. People will trust me anyway. Well, I like to think that, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot on the line for some books. Some people are investing a lot of time and a lot of money, and the least I can do is try to support that and show them that at least I'm not making it up. So, Keith says, the 25K, the old medium on threshold. Yeah, in the old days, I would have thought, yes, like I have made it, and now I haven't made it anywhere. I've just made it to 25,000 page views. Oh, thank you, everyone. My ego needed a little bit of padding. Steven says, talking to Keith about posting his earnings. I almost watched that before coming here, but yeah, Keith has his YouTube game has been incredible lately. He had the aged video face of his thumbnail, like the like old Keith and young Keith, which I thought was pretty cool. And then his total clickbait video that I also have in my queue to watch, where he says something like making thousands of dollars from or $1,000, 1,500, something from like only 50 some posts. And I think it's a video about content pruning, but still, it's like his game is really good right now. Um, Sabina says that she needs the reminder that this is real. I think that in the beginning, you need a lot of support in the beginning because it doesn't become real until you start getting direct deposits in the bank account, and then it becomes real. And you don't need YouTube, you don't need friends to support you and remind you that it's real. But up until that point, sometimes you do. Uh, Donna Kay says, yeah, yes, the old Mediavine threshold that they say, I think that they're planning on getting back to in some way, but I haven't seen anything. Keith says, folks, what did you think of the income school news? Jim is leaving and Ricky is buying him out. All amicable, apparently. Well, I don't have any personal knowledge whatsoever, but guys, amicable seems like the prepared statement, and I have to speculate if things were going really well. Do you really think that they'd be breaking up? Like, really? I mean, I don't know anything. I'll just say it straight out. I don't know anything, but I'm just saying. I would love to know. I would love to be a fly in the wall, on the wall, and like just to see what goes on over there. But that's my thought. Sarah says that she was shocked by the income school news. It's such a big business to walk away from. Well, here's the thing. A lot of money can be made from websites. Like like way more money that can be made from having students about websites. If you're honestly like digging in and doing the work, it can be done. And I I feel like somebody called out Matt Diggity in the Affiliate Lab Facebook group one time. He's like just in a comment like, "Oh, well, can't see why they have a course if they were actually making money in this." And Matt Diggity came back and he like did the math for them. He's like, "Well, I have like so many students," and he multiplied it times the amount of money that he would have earned from the student fees. And he's like, "This is a small amount. If you really understand this game, the game, I hate when people say the game, but if you really understand this business, you'd understand how the money from students is not it doesn't it's not even close to what the potential is if you really dig into the websites. And I mean, I think that's why we see a lot of the big dogs, they don't bother with courses because there's a lot of money to be made. I'm not gonna say that everybody who does courses isn't making money with sites, but there just is a lot of money in sites. That's all I'm saying. Steven says, I listened to the podcast this morning. Sounds amicable. Jim did move several months ago, which definitely makes things harder. I think he's done what he wanted, is ready to move on. Although Jim had the best presence on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it was Ricky who jumped into the. I saw him jump into boxes one time, and Jim never did that. And then I feel like I saw Ricky jump into a pool of Thai curry once. So I mean, I mean, Jim may have had good presence, but he definitely didn't dive into a swimming pool of curry. Donna K says, "Yeah, I didn't know about it. This is super interesting. Yeah, if you don't follow the podcast, I don't know if it would come out. It's not. I didn't see it on their YouTube channel yet, but I have to feel like it's going to be out soon." Sabina says, "I feel like Jim wanted freedom and flexibility, and that's what we're all working towards." Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to imagine having students in the future, because then if you have students, you definitely have to do a good job serving your customers, basically, and it makes it hard to do things like go on vacation and not work when you don't feel like it. And that's what I love about websites. Hey Jesse, what is going on? Sabina says, didn't he need to take care of aging parents? I don't know. I don't follow Jim and Ricky that closely, so it could be that, but it's still like I don't know. I'm just skeptical. Skeptical me. Yes, courses are a lot of upkeep and customer service, as they should be. People should be paying close attention, especially when people are giving you money. I just want to throw out that last week I had Phil Lancaster on the live stream if you missed it. And the reason is that I got them to give us $20 off on the lifetime deal of popcorn. So if you're thinking about jumping on the popcorn theme, the link is in there if you want to get 20 bucks off. I just wanted to throw that out there. It's an affiliate link, but I'm just saying if you want the deal, it's there. I've had multiple requests after the month 7 video for the MIGA site to do a keyword research video. And guys and ladies, I'm so not the guru, right? People say, I want to know your keyword research method and strategy. I'm going to do a keyword research video. I will do that because I want it to go in the playlist. But ultimately, any keyword research skills that I've developed are like fully off the backs of other people on YouTube and in communities. So I haven't developed a single keyword research strategy of my own. And so that's one of the reasons why I haven't made a keyword research videos, because I hate coming out being like, oh, this is how you do keyword research. And I didn't develop any of that. It feels a little bit like riding on the coattails or like taking in the knowledge of other people and then claiming that it's mine. It's not mine. I have absolutely 100% just done what other people are doing, and probably not doing it near as well as they do. In fact, here goes. I will give you the strategy, even though I'm planning on making a video about it eventually. And I will say also that keyword research strategies for me, these are moving targets. So I'm constantly adjusting and trying new things. So I will tell you the flavor of the month right now. Here's what I'm doing. You ready? First thing I do is I go to Google Analytics and I look at the top 10 to 20 articles. How are they performing? Because I figure if those are getting lots of traffic in the month, there's something about the keywords in those articles that Google likes. And if I'm likely to get traffic for those, that maybe, just maybe, if I create an article that can be linked to one of those, that article will get traffic. All right. So first thing I do is make a list of potential keyword topics, just general topics. Like I look at my article. My article is 10 best, because I'm looking at my fence, 10 best woods for fence posts, right? So then I think, okay, potential keywords in there are fence posts, probably fence posts or something to do with fences. And so then what I do from there is I take my keyword list, start with one of them, and I go over to answersocrates.com, which is like Answer the Public, but free all the time. So you can do as many searches as you want and dump it into Answer Socrates. And then once I have the list in Answer Socrates, I look for versus keywords, because right now I feel like it's pretty competitive to just target fence posts or grass. Like it's going to be really hard to rank those things, but comparison articles, not as many people target those. And so I'm very focused on trying to get traffic because I'm comparing things, right? It's not just laying out the information about fence posts and about grass, but fence posts versus grass, or fence like cedar versus oak, or cedar versus pine, so that I can take information that is available out there. Lots of people cover cedar, lots of people cover pine, but how often do they compare them to each other, right? Margaret says, I'm convinced you have 10 successful websites on fences. The It's just right out there. I'm looking out the window at fences. So I do not have a yard niche of any kind, even though I've debated fences because my fence needs replacing. All right, so it goes Google Analytics, it goes to Answer Socrates, it goes to versus articles. So then I look at the comparison areas, looking for grass and fence posts, or grass versus fence posts, and I take 3 or 4 of those. I start with one of those and I take it over to Google and then I search it. And so then I look at 2 things. I look at the search results, and then I also look at the list of things that comes up in What's My SERP, because I use the What's My SERP Chrome extension. That's another thing that's free. It gives me traffic and it gives me CPC, both of which I ignore, right? Because I think that the traffic numbers is generally not accurate, and I don't care about the CPC at all. But what I'm looking for is, does it pop up? Does it pop up in What's My SERP there on the right at all? Um, is it possible to get traffic with a keyword that does not show up in What's My SERP? Absolutely. 100%. I'm not saying that it's the end all or get all. It's just that's what I'm looking for right now. And I'm not saying that if it's in What's My SERP, I will write about it. I'm just saying that's kind of what I'm scanning for. So it goes Google Analytics, Answer Socrates, Google, What's My SERP. And then I just look through, is it in What's My SERP? And if it's not, sometimes I will just click over there. I will look for other potential keywords that are similar, that are related to it, and click through it. Do I have something that is similar to fence posts and grass, or something else? And if the keyword I have that I put in doesn't have any results, it doesn't have anything in What's My SERP, it just looks like a bad keyword, or it looks crazy competitive, right? That Home Depot and then Lowe's and then a whole bunch of websites are covering it. I punt it, like blah. Blah. I'm like, not gonna do it, not gonna deal with it. And I will go back to the list that I started with in Answer Socrates and go to the next one. So let's say I put in a versus keyword, fence post versus grass, and then search it, and then I get the keyword, the list results, and I also get What's My SERP. And I think that, one, it shows me that there might be traffic. Maybe there's 10 searches a month, or 20 searches a month, or 1,000. I don't care. Just it shows up there. And I think, okay, it's in Answer Socrates, and then it's in What's My SERP. Let's look at the search results. What am I looking for? One, did anybody else write about it? That's the first thing. So in the title, do I see the keyword in there anywhere to make it look like somebody has targeted? Two, what are the websites that are creating articles on this content? Is it something that looks like a humongous site, somebody that could probably outrank me or outcompete me? Three, is there any social traffic, any social links on page one, not just in number one or number two or number three? I'm looking for Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, any sort of social something on page one. I'm also looking for Quora, Reddit, any kind of forum, like period. It doesn't matter what kind of forum. Is it a niche specific forum? Just something. You say, well, I don't know if it's a forum. I look for, the title of the article and then how it has lots of results on the bottom. Reddit does it, and then other specific forums do it where they have like lots of related type threads. I just look for something that is a user generated. So it's not created. You say, okay, well, is there any one of these things that says you should write about it? No, I just say, okay, well, what's on page one? You say, how will I know if these sites are competitive with me? So, well, you could run them through Ahrefs, or you could just click on them and go look at them. It's like, do they look like really well established sites that have lots and lots of articles? most likely they've been around a bit longer than you and it's going to be hard to compete with them, at least at first, right? You say, okay, well, should I, how will I know what to write about? Or should I write on this keyword? And in the end, you don't know, right? I think I know. I think that if I see Reddit and Quora in the top one, two, or three, I see a forum or I see a Pinterest post or I see something. Do I know? I'm not going to waste like hours making decisions about it because by the time I could just continue to do more research about that particular keyword, I could have written the post and published it and then moved on. So a lot of times what I'll do is say, okay, there's something on there I think that I could compete with. And you say, okay, well, what happens if it doesn't rank in month one? Or what happens if it's not on page one in month one? I said, I don't know. I've gone on. I'm working on a whole bunch of other stuff, trying to increase the likelihood that one of these posts will hit it out of the park. And you say, oh, well, what if it doesn't make it on page one? Does that mean it's a failure? Does that mean I should take it down? Content pruning is important and it's a good idea. But a lot of times, most times, all the time, I just leave it because who knows? In a month, maybe it will start to get to traction. Maybe in 6 months, maybe in 1 year, maybe I need two or three links and then these posts will take off. I don't worry about it. I just go Google Analytics for a good topic to start with, answer Socrates to get some ideas, Google it, check what's my SERP, check the top 10 results on page one, write an article, publish it, repeat. So do I like that's really it. Like there's no magical science to it. And you say, "Oh, well, I'm not very good at at knowing whether or not I should write the article." And that's one of those things I think that comes with just doing it over and over and over again. And if you feel anxiety about whether or not you should write on the keyword, then what you need to do is just write more and worry about it less and maybe you fail, but I really feel like that gut thing is developed with experience and a bit of luck also. So, I went off on a blah, on keyword research. I'm gonna go back and check the chat. Sabina says that she liked my month 7 update and was informative. Thank you very much. You feel free to drop more praise on me because it warms my heart. Mersic, what is going on? Hey, Marika. So yeah, if you guys have questions about keyword research, feel free to drop them in there. I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. There's D. So Stephen, after I thought I was actually outing your niche, but now you're telling me you're joking. I think the fence niche would actually be a really good niche. I'm just saying. Chain link fences. I mean, I think it's a good niche. I do. I think that it's a high dollar product, right? You could compete with local companies. I mean, the fence in my backyard that needs to be replaced will probably cost $10,000. You think about how much somebody could afford to advertise when what they're going to get to charge is 10 grand compared to like a $9.99 like bracelet on Amazon. There's way more advertising dollars there. Hey, Jana, what is going on? I hope that you are still here for me to say hi. It's great to see you again. Steve says, I have a friend whose business is just installing commercial chain link fence, and his gross revenue is over 5 million per year. So there you go. There you go. Stiggs is here. But you had me a drink. Now I feel kind of uncomfortable. Margaret says, joking aside, this is a great rundown and explanation. You could clip it into a separate video. No, I think what I'll do is actually make a legitimate keyword research video just so that it makes the MIGA like keyword videos, like the video series, just rounds it out so that it could be a good resource for somebody to go through and then just get video one and then just like watch them all so they could actually get a good resource instead of having to like bounce around everywhere. And besides, my keyword research changes so much, so I'd like to put it in there. It's like this is what I was doing at the time, and so then I can go back and look at it later and be like, "Oh yeah, that was silly, really silly." Um, let's see. Keith says, I hear people saying that CPT gives a good indication of the earning potential for display ads. Yeah, I definitely have looked at that, especially on Ahrefs. And I just trying not to worry too much about it one way or another, because then I get too wrapped up in the data, right? And so then I'm like evaluating keywords on this or on that. What I really need to do is just write the content and then move on. Maybe that content doesn't make as much money as some of the other ones, but in the meantime, I'm getting content out there. And not only that, but when you're really focused only on the high dollar keywords, you got to know you're not the only one. And so, you might say, okay, well, I'm going to get the keyword that is the most valuable. It's probably the most competitive too, because I mean, all the us affiliate marketers out there, I mean, we want the dollar bills. So you might just be making more work for yourself. Steven says that he saw a tool that incorporates CPC in their keyword search analysis. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I've seen it in lots of keyword tools. I mean, What's My SERP shows it, but I don't care. There's John Morphus. What is going on? John, I don't feel like I know your story at all. I feel like you popped up last week in the talk with Phil from the Popcorn team, and I would love to know more about you and your story. Derek says you shouldn't prune until you have hits and misses, probably 18 months or more. I have plenty of misses, and I'm planning on just leaving them for a while. Mohammed says that actually sums up keyword research. It sums up mine. It sums up mine. And so I have a feeling that ultimately my video in the future will be short. Um, I don't know if like a screen share would be that valuable to people. I suppose I could do it like the actual process, but I think a lot of people do it really well. Sarah says that she could analyze keywords forever and waste time. I have totally done that. It's like a treasure hunt and it is addicting to do, which is why I can't have Ahrefs. I cannot have the monthly subscription to it because I would just sit in it. I would do nothing else but look for keywords because I think it's so fun. Stig says, good update video this month, quick and concise to the point. Yeah, I'm trying really hard to just like keep those videos like. Ooh, I was going to say that I saw Chris's month one or month zero niche site cage fight video, and I wanted to say that he did a much more, speaking of concise and to the point, job of explaining the rules. So, like, kudos to Chris if you're catching this, if you're here lurking. And by the way, if you're here lurking and your name is Adam from Niche Website Builders, we know that you're there and that you never say hi. And so this is me saying hi to you, even though we know that you won't comment. But if Chris is lurking, Chris, kudos to you to doing a better job. I've started the month one recap video for the niche site cage fight, but I probably won't get it out for another week or so because I want to make it better. That we'll just say that. A whole keyword video would be great. I need a money gun. I do need a money gun. Like it would just be funny to join the ranks of the affiliate marketers with shooting fake dollar bills all over the place, like, really. Hey, Leona, what is going on? Next on my list, this is the wrong my list is over here because apparently I have lists and lists and lists everywhere. Ooh, if you have not subscribed to the drawing board, one of the questions someone asked was the drawing board going to be a podcast? Is it going to be on iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, all those things? The answer is yes. It is in, as far as I know, the queue for iTunes, and I don't know how long it will take. It should be there soon, but yeah. So far, we're really enjoying making it, and I hope people will bear with us as we do it because lately it has devolved into us just laughing, like talking and then laughing. Like that was the last one where we just sat and like giggled through the whole thing, and I'm not sure how much of that Chris is going to going to cut out. John says that he came over from Alex and Carl's channels. Yep, they are friends to us. Both Alex and Carl have hung out with us occasionally, developing his own portfolio and has 15 sites. Well done. And I don't know how you do it because I can barely manage the less than 10 that I have. In most cases, I ignore all of them except for one or two at a time. Right now, it's only two. Sabina says, "You have two. Do you have two brains?" My guess is that he must have a team, or he does what I do, which is works on a couple of them at a time and lets the other ones just do their thing. I can barely manage one. Yeah, no, 15 is amazing, especially if they're all producing revenue, which is awesome. Um, Let's see. I talked about my MIGA site competitor, so I got that out there. Ooh, one of the questions, Luke Jordan, Luke is not here, I'm certain, but he came over and caught the month 7 video, and he asked a really good question. He said, as an Ezoic affiliate, and I've not been shy about the fact that I'm an affiliate for Ezoic, he says, will you take the MIGA site and leave when the site gets to the level where I could? And it sort of begs the question of, as an Ezoic affiliate, would I be free to go and check out other networks, or would it be a good idea? And here's what I think about other networks. I think that it is a good idea for folks like me to have knowledge of all of the networks and to have sites on all of the networks, because I think it's a great way to keep my finger on the pulse of the entire industry as a whole. There's a lot of marketing happening like to us all the time. It's coming from over here and over there and over there and over there. And I think that the best way to cut through that is to actually be in the trenches in those things. So if it makes sense for me to move sites over to other networks, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Ezoic has been good to me, but it wouldn't be a matter of like, oh, I'm going to like jump ship to move my whole business here or there everywhere. I will move sites where it makes sense to move them. And if it doesn't make sense to move them, then I won't move them, and I'm not going to worry about it. And it's going to have nothing to do with me being an affiliate or not. So if it makes sense to move, then I'll move, and if it doesn't make sense to move, then I won't move. Ezoic has been really upfront. They say, "Yeah, we think that we can go head to head with other companies and beat them." And I look forward to putting that statement to the test. I would love to have a site go somewhere else and have Ezoic beat them. And if they can't, then that's something that we've got to deal with over with the other ad partners. But I think people should test out and gain personal experience with all of the networks, because then when it comes time to choose where they're going to stay and where they're going to put all of their business, if they want to like make it a comprehensive place, then they will know. And it's not because somebody told them that that was the best place. I think everybody should test out all of the various services and decide for themselves which is the best one. So John says that he can run 15 sites himself with lots of caffeine. I cannot imagine how much caffeine that would be, because for me, it would be like a vein, like a dump truck. It would be like a constant supply because it wouldn't happen. Stig says, I agree with Sean Mars yesterday. I do not know what Sean had to say, so you will have to tell me, Stiggs, because I don't know what he said. He said, some of my Army Ant posts are on decline. July was tough with the core updates. So I'd love to know. I did not catch Sean's video yesterday. And so are we thinking that the Army Ant method was the method of taking like one topic and then covering as many questions as possible? So maybe these questions would only have like a 2 to 300 word answer, and it would be hard to rank potentially for that one answer. It doesn't make sense to create a 200 word post. But if you took like fence posts and that was your main article, and then you wrote like 50 of those 1500 or 50, like 200 word question and answers, that you could rank for lots of those keywords in that main article. And uh, maybe those big posts, Army Ant posts, aren't getting as much love, that maybe you're better off writing an article that is just that particular topic, that smaller topic, rather than doing a general authority post that contains lots of those nuggets in there. I thought it was interesting, actually. The Army Ant method is one that Morton Storgard talks a lot about, and I think he recently came out and said that Go Downsize, which I think he's probably used that method on, is not. I don't want to say not growing, but it just wasn't as strong as it had been lately, and I wonder if that's part of it too. I think he came to the conclusion that it had to do with changes in the pandemic from last year, and then competitors. A lot of people creating RV sites, but I just wonder if it also is Google Analytics, like Google's search algorithm adjustments. Let's see. I'm looking to see. Stig says it was good, a lot of info. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch Sean's videos now. Um, Let's see about ad networks. Jesse says, from a business standpoint, you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not trying other ad companies. Yeah, I think it's important to just know, like, to know yourself what's good and what's not good and what works for you. About John, people are patting John on the back. Said it's amazing as one person and not outsourcing. And he didn't say that. And he could still be outsourcing, but managing. Um, I don't know that he said that he was writing all the content for 15 sites. He did say he was managing them, so maybe there is still some outsourcing. Uh, Sabina says, "I'm tired and it's just so much work." It is, especially when you have a family and you're working also. It's hard. It is hard. I really appreciated Carl saying how much the updates are making, how the updates are making everything else take so long. I hope I look real stupid in 12 months when everything is amazing. You know what? That's okay. I look back at some of my first videos and it's shocking how much you can learn in 12 months. Sarah says, it sounds like it might be better to write a single post for each small topic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I know of someone else who's writing short content more lately. I think in the end, rather than worrying about it so much, it's just like to pick a topic and write the best possible article that you can that answers that question or addresses the point, and then not worry about it. Just move on and then hope for the best because it's a moving target right now. Dee says, I'm sure that in 12 months, Sabina will look back and wonder what you were even worried about. There's no saying that in 12 months that Sabina will be like money gun, like swimming in cash. But one thing I will guarantee, I won't guarantee earnings and I won't guarantee traffic, but I will guarantee that you will know a heck of a lot more than you did 12 months ago, and you will feel so much better about what you know. But my personal experience is that even in that year's time, you'll still feel like there's a lot to learn. You just have to be committed to keep going. Stig says, I hope to see you crushing it over the next year, and I think we can all agree on that. John says that what he does with those small article topics is write a 5 to 600 word article and finds that works a little bit better. So there you go. I mean, I definitely went with the Army Ant method for a while. And I can't tell one way or another whether those posts are working or not. I'm doing it on the MIGA site. So the sad thing is that the site is so young. There's still a lot of stuff that just isn't ranking yet. And I don't know necessarily if it's because of updates or because it hates me or because I have indexing issues with which I think I do. But there's nothing really I can do about it right now. Dee says, what do people think about putting out a 5 to 800 word article that just isn't likely to compete, but just to get it out there so that it's indexed and then go back 9 to 12 months and pad out the article? Who's to say that it isn't likely to compete? What I probably would do is if I had a topic. Okay, on the news site, the fight site, I am definitely writing content on topics that I don't think I can compete for right now. And I'm not planning on going back and rewriting those topics. I'm actually just writing the best possible article that I can, and I'm doing it for a couple reasons. One, I think eventually my site will have enough authority that I can compete. And so I don't feel like writing it halfway will help me get there, right? I also don't want to come back and have to rewrite it. Right? Who's got time for that? If the whole point is just to make it the article that it should have been in the beginning rather than as a placeholder, I'm just going to go back and write the best article possible because I don't know when necessarily my site is going to have enough authority. And there's a couple ways that authority can happen. One is with links, or two is just with enough content going deep enough on the topic that Google decides to show that article on page one. It may not have to do with links. Why would I cut myself like off at the legs like early on? So for the fight side, I'm in the legal niche, right? It's like super competitive, but I think that having a deeper, like going deeper on a particular topic, just having lots more content, even though I don't think I can rank for all of that stuff, will help the eventual articles that surface to help them do better. So if you're going to challenge a cluster area or a topic area you think is competitive, I don't think that going halfway and just hoping that later you'll be able to get it and make it better is going to happen. I mean, we all are managing so much stuff. I think the odds of us coming back to it and then really having the time to make it look good, at least for me, is unlikely because I'm constantly pressing forward and things that I'm like, oh, I'll do that later. That stuff never happens. My to do list, I have like to do lists to deal with my to do list because I continue to create them like, oh, I should do this and I should do this. And then the only thing I do is create new content. And then all those other to dos just sort of like, yeah, I'll get there. So it's got to be the best it's going to possibly be the first time because I'm just not going to get back to it. Wow, that was really rambly. I hope that was a good answer. Donna Kay says Sean's video was good. He just goes over sticking to answering one question per post instead of trying to answer multiple questions per post. John says, I have plenty of 500 to 750 word articles ranking on a variety of niches. He says, I will answer those Army Ant types of questions in an ultimate guide, and all of my shorter articles will link to the guide as a silo. So that's also a really good recommendation. Stig says that Sean spent a lot of time pulling up individual post analytics and saw many Army Ant posts drop to zero. So that's really interesting. And that's good data. And that is concerning. And you have to wonder, you say, okay, is it because it's an Army Ant post or because the post itself didn't have internal links to other articles on the site, like to support it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I have to wonder like what it is about those Army Ant posts that send it to zero, right? Not just fall, but to zero. And so I say, okay, are those posts still ranking anywhere? Like, are they still in the index, or is it just like they've fallen so far? I don't know. I now I want to go watch Sean's video. Savina says the idea of going back is awful. It's just who's got time for that? Jesse says, "Yep, I keep my eyes forward and rarely look back. It's really hard to go back. Really is." Dee says that she's clutching at straws. I know. I know. What you got to do is just stay the course, my friend. Be persistent. Stay the course. Um, let's see. Donna K says, I agree with you. Might as well write the best post you can from the start instead of going back to pad it out. I'm too lazy. I would rather do the best up front and get it out of the way. I think it takes more time to write the post 2 times because that's ultimately what you're doing when you're going back to work on it again. Derek says, try and focus on user experience. Putting out simple articles is fine, but make every post please the user and Google will take notice. Stig says, the Army Ant situation is very concerning to me. I also find it concerning, and I'm thinking about that cluster on the MIGA site that I worked on that I keep talking about how it isn't getting any traffic and has never gotten any love at all. And those are Army Ant posts. They are. And so now I'm wondering about that if it's not necessarily the keywords, but the structure and structure and style. Then if maybe what I should try to do instead of trying to rank those posts, if I should just break them up and then create some smaller posts. Man, I just gave myself something to do. Dang. What's an Army Ant post, Jana? An Army Ant post is we talked about it just a bit earlier, but it's basically just taking really short topics that usually you wouldn't think to create a separate article on their own, that maybe would only have a couple hundred words worth, and then combining a whole bunch of them all into one guide or one like big sort of more authority article, and then hoping that the Google Passages update would just jump you to somewhere in the article that you would need to be. And the talk is about how those posts are no longer performing as well. And then it might be better to break those articles, big ones, up into smaller, more specific answer type posts. I don't know. I'm just distracted now thinking about those dead articles and thinking, criminy, what am I going to do about those? Other updates. Ooh, I heard that Ezoic is coming out finally with an app. So, like, for those of us who are like persistent and consistent, like update checkers, like how much did I make in the last 30 seconds? I hear they're finally going to come out with an app to do that so that if you want to check stats all day long, it'll be right here because it is. Ooh, I'm actually going to look now because Google Analytics was refusing to update my traffic from yesterday, and so now because I'm a serial checker, yeah, it didn't update after 1 PM, and I know the site has users on it and is working, so I don't know what my stats were for yesterday, and now I feel kind of lost. Feel kind of lost and, like, upset and adrift because I don't have that information at all. Like, what happened yesterday? I don't know how to feel about yesterday yet. Stig says, since January, I've been scraping those small answer targets. They make a majority of my 2021 posts. So you've been writing the small posts or you've been combining them into the big posts and then seeing what you could do. Uh, Careful with those to do lists. They are dangerous. Yes, they are soul sucking, especially because they basically filled up my entire Google Drive now. Uh, Donna Kay says, Stig says he's combining them. Yeah, yeah, I don't know actually, and we're just gonna have to watch this because I'm really curious about that too. Uh, Donna K says, I do silo posts like that for terms that are likely hard to rank for in the beginning, but the smaller posts that link to the silo post tend to rank faster and hopefully help the big post. John says, that is the idea. The smaller posts will help push traffic to the bigger guides. Silos are also good for indexing. I concur on all those things, but ultimately, I'm just like trying to create links that go this way and that way, and then moving on to creating more content. That's basically all the things. I'm looking at my to-do list and I think I covered just about everything. I think I plugged the drawing board. I plugged the interview last week with the popcorn folks. That was really fun, even though not everybody enjoys when I do those types of interviews with people who sell products. I personally enjoy doing those articles because I like talking to people who are making stuff, and it is awesome. Look in the next probably week and a half. You'll see my month one niche site cage fight update video, which I'm going to work on my editing skills. All right, which everybody knows are like fledgling, but I'm trying to make my videos a little bit more interesting. Stig says, when is the next drawing board? And I will say that Chris and I recorded an episode recently and that it devolved into giggling, and I don't know how valuable that will be, but it was mostly giggling. Um, so we'll see when that comes out. Chris is in control of the publish button, so I'm going to leave it to Chris whenever he catches this to let us know. But I expect it to hopefully be soon. Um, Sabina says, I like getting to know people who are making stuff. I always learn. Same. Plus, it's just so enjoyable to talk to people who are competent, right? Like it's almost one of those things where you rarely come across out in the world anymore is competence. Like it's really enjoyable to talk with people who are competent and confident. I just, I think it's really enjoyable. Stiggs is laughing. He says, all right. I said, all right. All right, everybody. It is the top of the hour. I'm going to head off to do some work. Keith said it's been a great stream, very informative. It was a slow start. So those of you who missed the first 10 minutes, it's probably good that you did because the people who jumped on and bailed um, probably weren't that excited about it. We are going to wrap up. But before you go, if you have not smashed the thumbs up like button, please do that to let me know and everyone else know that it was a good stream today. And if you're here on the replay and forgot to tell me you were here, I'd love to know how things are going for you. All right, everybody. I will see you next week. Same time, same plan, all of the things. Get some work done. I'm going to try to do the same. And I will talk to you next week. Take care.